Hi, welcome to half an hour of fitness Pilates with me, Gail. Just going to work through some core strength, some flexibility and a little bit of mobility work as well. All you need is a drink and a space, a mat. Work within your means, and if you need to take anything down, please do so, and if you want to make it harder, the same. So I've got nice gentle music, so we're just going to start off standing up and starting with your feet hip width apart. So we're just going to take it a big deep breath in through the nose, reaching up to the ceiling, and breathing out, taking the arms down. So focus on your in-breath, you're drawing in the stomach, lifting up, stretching the head up to the ceiling, long, nice back, and taking it down. And then one more time, breathing in and breathing out. Then we're going to reach out to the side, stretch, drop the head down, back up, over to the other side. We'll do one more each side, breathing in, so you'll be breathing through the nose, breathing out through the mouth, and breathing in and breathing out. So just want to do a little bit of balance work. So lifting up one leg, getting your balance, nice pointy toe, and then out breath, kick out, in breath, bend. And if you don't want to do that, you can tap down and up. But focus on the higher the knee, the harder it'll be on your hip flexor. So if you do want to give a little help by just gently sort of taking weight off by lifting this leg, you can do that. One more, and then changing sides, lifting the knee nice and high, and then breathe out and in. So your ankle will work harder for your balance as well. So good stability work. Breathe out and in, and two more. Last one, and bend. So we're going to just walk it out into a plank position. So we're just going to do a roll down and then walk out into plank. So take a deep breath in, drop your chin first, reach down as you drag the belly button in, pulling the belly button up towards your spine, all the way down, and then either have straight legs or you can bend them slightly if it's easier to walk out into your plank. So in your plank, you know you want to drag the belly button up, head pushing forward and heels pushing backwards. If you have wrist issues, come down onto the elbows. If it's too difficult, come down onto the knees, but we're just holding in tight. So we're going to take the feet a little bit wider than hip width apart. Hold the belly button up, then on out breath we want to tap back opposite hand to heel. So we breathe out and in, come back to plank. Breathe out and in. So really push the bottom up as you come back, and if you can't reach the foot, just stretch to where you can. Try and sink down to the plank in between everyone so that the belly's coming up, head extending forward. So nice long neck. And we just keep with the taps. Breathe out and in and out and in. So really work the belly button pulling up. Squeeze when you come back to your plank. And hold. Stomach up really, really tight. And then just bring your knees down. Sit back into a child pose. You can reach forward with the fingers, just stretch and allow yourself to get heavy on the legs. And from there we're going to come up onto elbow plank. If you need extra padding, get double up your mat, or there's a cushion or something to put underneath. Feet walking back into the plank, tummy up, hold tight, and then push forward, and then push back. So we come onto the toes, back through the heels, onto the toes, back through the heels, And if you need to rest, have a rest, come down and relax if you need to rest. If not, you can bring it down, knees to the mat to make it easier. Just work within your means and keep pushing. And for a little stretch, we're going to drop the hips down onto the mat, elbows underneath the shoulders. Drag the hands back on the mat and lift the head and push the hips into the mat. And if you want to make it a bigger stretch for the abs, push up, shoulders back, create space between the top of the shoulder and the ears, squeeze the shoulder blades in, and then come back down, take it into all fours. Give a little cat dog stretch first. So hands underneath the shoulders. Deep breath in. On out breath, we lift up the back, push the back up towards the ceiling. Drop your head right under. In breath, let the belly button come down. Lift the bottom. Head can lift and tip back if it's pain free. Any neck pain, forward facing with the head. Out breath, arch up, really push up, allow your hips to come forward slightly. In breath, you can also bend the elbows if you want to make it a bigger bend. Breathing out, up. And so nice to get the spine to open and to stretch. And then we're going to come to halfway between up and down. So your halfway point, belly button is up. We lift opposite arm and leg. So just lift one arm and leg. Extend the fingers right out so you get the stretch onto the toes and the fingers. Squeeze the belly button up so you feel like the tummy working hard. And then on out breath, we want to take leg and arm away from middle point of the body and back in on in breath, center. So out breath, keep the head and the torso facing forward. So it's only the arm and the leg that's moving. Breathing out and in and out and in. Last time. When you bring it back to center, just extend, keep the lengthening of the toes. Then on out breath, bring the elbow and the knee under the body, curl down with the head, and in breath, lengthen. Out breath, and in. So really, really stretch out when you reach out. Lift the belly button up. Breathe out and in, and take two hands down onto the mat, keep the other leg out straight, and then we want to tap from side to side on out breath. So we breathe out, we tap over, keep the body forward facing, so breathe out to the side, breathe in center, breathe out and in, out. And the wider you bring that leg, the more you'll feel it. So out breath and in, out and in. And last time, sit back, give a little child pose stretch, hands to front, push down the shoulders. Concentrate on the out breath, you sink down. And from there, we're going to come back up onto fours and then opposite arm and leg out. Get the balance first, get the belly button up. Head is looking forward, so it's like an extension of your spine. Fingers, toes, really, really point. So out breath, take it out. In breath back. Out breath. And in, breathing out and in, and really push, but the belly button squeezing up extra tight. Stay centre, stay pointed, toes and fingers. Next out breath, bring elbow and knee under and your head. So nice and slow, in breath, really, really stretch. Out breath, come under. In breath, lengthen. Out breath, and in. We've got one more. Hold the leg out, take two hands onto the mat, point that leg, toe, and then out breath, out wide. In breath, centre, and across, and back. So out breath, and in. Out breath, and in. So upper body is staying the same, not moving, just the leg moving from side to side. You'll feel a stretch across the outer thigh area as well. And bring that back and sit back. Quick little stretch again. Reach in, stretch in. And then we're going to come up onto our knees. So onto the knees, one leg out to the side. So keep the leg out straight, so the toe and the knee and your hip is in line together. We stretch through the fingers, lift the ribs, belly button in, take a deep breath in and then breathe out, reach over, hold and pulse lift this leg. So we're just stretching above the head. If you don't want to pulse the leg, you can just keep the leg down. But we're trying to lift to work right deep into this outer thigh and into the waist also. And then come back up and change sides. So we're just taking the other leg out, stretching the hands. Deep breath in, breathe out, stretch over. And breathe naturally, and then pulse lift this leg. So nice high leg till you feel it right across the thigh area here. Keep lifting, keep breathing, stretch over the head, and then bring it back onto the two knees. You want to lean back. So when you lean back, you push your hips out to the front, hands are forward, take a deep breath in, breathe out, sink back, hips forward though, belly down, in breath back up, breathe out, sink back, breathe in, and then we're going to stay back. Really push out the hips to the front so you feel like burning down the front of the legs, tingling. If it gets too much, come up, have a little rest and come back in. If not, keep holding, hips forward, belly down, squeeze it. Keep holding. And then we're going to just come up and we're going to give a little stretch. So we want one knee forward, one leg back, hands each side of your knee, lift the head and the chest, push down through the back hip. And then from there, you want to bend the back leg and try and drag this foot, if you can, towards the bottom. So breathing out, squeezing, breathing in, holding. If you want two hands to make it harder, you squeeze in tighter, but it takes a little bit harder to balance. Just squeeze, make sure you push down the hip, but you also lift your chest. And then we rest that foot back down. And we swap sides. So other leg back, lift the chest, push down the hip. So nice big stretch for the front of the thigh, bending, and then dragging on out breath that heel back towards your bottom. If you can't come back too far, then it doesn't matter, just as long as you feel a stretch. If you want to do the two hands, you're lifting the chest, feeling that right down the front of the quad and the front of the hip. and then just gently let go of that foot and bring it back. So we're going to sit down on the mat into our C curl. So we want the hands forward, we want the legs bent, and then we want to lean back on out breath. So out breath, we lean back, we keep the chin up, belly button, drag it down, squeeze it. The more you focus on pulling the belly button down, the harder the core work will be. Out breath, we want to sink back to a position that is quite tough for you. And you can just work in stages, coming down, keeping the space of an apple underneath the chin. And we hold. So the stomach is working really, really hard. Squeeze it. And then we want prayer hands, and we want to sink back on out breath. So out breath and in. Out breath and in. So really pull the belly button down as you sink back. Small move, but tough. And whew. So from there, we're going to take the elbows on the mat, behind, hands facing, fingers facing forward, legs long. Get the legs active, so tighten up the legs, push them down onto the mat. So your quads will fire up a little bit as well. And from here, you want to squeeze the belly button down, flat tummy. And then we want to slide the hands away off the mat, forward. So you're trying to keep your upper body in the same position with the space underneath the chin. And you're holding this belly button down. If it gets too much, take the hands down, have a little rest, and then come back into it and just work in stages just to keep this tension on the tummy extra tight. Really, really squeeze. Bring it up, give a little hug around bottom of the knees. In breath, lift the chest, arch the back, push the shoulders back. Out breath, lengthen through the arms, let the head drop down. In breath, lift. And out breath, roll. And then we want to do a little switch pull. So you want to lie down on your mat, totally flat. And then we want to grab one knee, and I'm going to push up towards the knee. So out breath. And in, swapping, out and in, out and in. So one breath on one leg, and then not to hold is the key. Push in, reaching up, pushing the chest towards the knee. Easier will be not to go as low on the legs. Harder will be extending and pushing low, long leg, and push, push. And then take the legs up, reach up, and just lift, bend the toes down towards your chest, and breathe out as you push up and in. Breathe out and in. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Really push high. So we're lifting the chest and the fingertips. And if you have tight hamstrings, then you might have a slight bend in the legs. And just hug knees into chest. Allow yourself to roll, rock from side to side. Allows the heart rate to come down a little bit as well. And then we're going to take the legs up in the air, and we're going to have, if you want to make it easier, hands underneath the lower back, head rested. If you want to make it harder, tension on, hands to the temples or side of the head. And we want to take one leg down, keeping the other leg above the hip. So down and up. I'm breathing in on the down, breathe out on the up. Breathe in, breathe out. In and out. Keeping the distance shortened between your ribs and your hips. So you're pushing, and if you have your hands underneath the lower back, then that's fine too. So we're going to take 2 legs. So down, and then pull back up. Breathe in, and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. In, and if you do want to make this harder, reach up. So we reach back on in breath, we reach up and out breath. Breathe in, you can do single legs if it's too difficult. Stretch and squeeze the core. Harder you pull in, harder to be. Slow, controlled. And hug. Ah, nice. Roll side to side. And from there, we're going to do side plank. So bring your knees, pull yourself up. You might want a little extra padding underneath the elbow. So your choice. Choices of side plank. Time has gone so quick. So we are knee on the floor is your first option. 1 foot in front of each other is your second. You can have a hand up to ceiling. And always feet stacked on top of each other is the most difficult. So reach up, nice, tall hand. So I'm going to show you a little bit to make this harder if you want. If you don't, you can just stay in this position, knee on the floor, easier. So we're breathing in, reaching up. We breathe out, we come underneath the body and reach back. We breathe in, up, breathe out. The more you lean back, the more you feel it in the obliques, the waist. In breath and out. So you don't have to do these if they're too difficult. Stay in a side plank. In breath and out, and drop your hip down. Take 1 foot in front of each other now. And when you come up, full arm plank. So we're lifting in a full arm. So first of all, make sure your arm's underneath your shoulder. You lift up. If it's too difficult, just stay with one knee on the floor. From here, bring the top arm over to the other hand. Move the other hand away. So we're side on with the body, the legs in the same position. We breathe in, we drop the hip down. We breathe out, we push up. Breathe in, breathe out. Still looking into the obliques. Knee on the floor, easier. So you can still do the same. One more. And rest. Coming on to the other side. Side plank. Again, knee on the floor, easiest. Feet stacked on top, your hardest. 1 foot in front of each other, in between. So we are lifting. And if you want to make this harder, breathing in, reach up. Breathe out, reach back. Work your core. Pull in extra tight as you reach back. Out breath. In breath. Out. And in. 2 more. Reaching. 1 more. And rest the hip down. Full arm plank. Top foot in front of the other one. Up. And as I said, knee on the floor if it's too hard. Bring the hand round. Move the other one away. And then drop down in breath. Hip down. Breathe out, push. Breathe in. Breathe out. In. and out. 2 more. In and out. And last one. And push. Yay. Okay, come down, Z legs, or 90-90. 1 leg in front, 1 leg back. 2 hands round to the side. Lift on in-breath the chest. Push forward from your hip. And if you want to make it harder, drop down onto the elbows. Harder again. Head coming down onto the arms. Harder again. Work back your way. And just find a position of stretch. Breathe. Nice slow breathing. So once we stretch one side, we want to push up and do the same on the other side. So again, forward leg, it can tuck back in if it feels more comfortable, or it can be out depending on what you feel is best for you. Arms round, in breath, push the hip, lift the chest and sink down. If you want to make it lower, come as low as you want to go. Just feel the waist lengthening. So we're stretching. And nice and slowly push yourself back up. Roll back onto your back. Nice and slow, roll down, bone by bone. Tummy tight, tight, tight. All the way down. Extend above. So push the small of the back into the mat. So we're going to do this sort of switch legs here. The legs are up and we want to grab, in breath and out. So you can rest the head in on one breath, out on the other leg. So reach, split, draw back so you feel the stretch right up the hamstring. And nice and slow, make sure you feel that you're getting into that lengthening of the hamstring. And last one, grabbing the knees. Okay, drop the knees if the feet are in the air, knees above your hips to the side, it'll be harder. If the feet are on the floor, easier. So we drop the knees on out breath. And then we breathe naturally, both shoulders down, hand on to push down for a little bit extra stretch out the outer areas of the bottom, right up the waist, right up your spine. And if you want to make that harder, take the foot of the top leg, take the leg out straight and bring the leg up towards your shoulder. Breathe through it. If it's too much, stay bent legs. Oh, such a good stretch. From there, bring the leg back on top. Bring it back up. Drop the legs the other way. So I'm going to swivel myself round here, so I've got space. Look away from your knees. Hand on, just increase it slightly. Also, the higher up the knees are towards your shoulder, the bigger the stretch will be. And if you want that kind of almost like an owl stretch, take the foot, extend the leg and bring that leg down. Hold that stretch. Try and keep the shoulders grounded. And then bring that leg back to bent leg. Bring yourself back up to centre. Grab your knees, and we're going to just finish off on our straight legs. Straight legs, lifting, chest up, ribcage up. In breath, we push forward, but we're not curling the back. So we breathe in, breathe out, push. Breathe in, lift. Now we are going to fold. Point your toes as you curve the back. The head comes down, the hands can be on the legs, they can be on the floor. So we're trying to push one bottom cheek back, then the other one, and then we're trying to kind of lift the ribs over to get the back flatter down towards the legs. Drop the head, Breathe through it, allow your body to get heavy. Nice and slowly roll back up. Cross the legs to the front and sit comfortably. One hand down on the mat as you drop your head towards your shoulder. On out breath, push heavier into the floor. Either fingertips or palm will do. In breath we hold, out breath we push. Then we change sides, head over, pushing down on out breath, in breath holding. Out breath, push lower. And last one, breathe out, drop the head forward. Allow your neck to hang down, chin down towards your chest. And then lift the head, push the arms back away from the back first and then up as you lift on out breath. And thank you so much for joining me, and hopefully you enjoyed that, and I shall see you the next time. Bye.